half-time at the Conseco Fieldhouse. China ahead 52-43. This is the scene there right now. We've seen some pretty good juggling from Tab Baldwin in the second quarter as well, as the New Zealanders came storming back. Down by 22 after the first quarter. The gap at half-time is now 9. The Tall Blacks right back in it. Yes, half-time in the Tall Blacks clash with China. This crucial game on which so much is riding. China ahead of the Tall Blacks now 52-43. What a range of emotions so far. Disappointment after the first quarter when the gap was 22. Now it's 9. So we have seen the Tall Blacks, remember, come back too in the second half of matches. So Chris Tupu, what is in those hands of Phil Jones?
He's hot. Give him the ball, you know, some fantastic shooting there to bring the Kiwis back, and it looks good for the second half. You know, Jonesy, typically when he starts off shooting like that, he ends up having a big game.
Can he carry it right the way through?
I think he can, yeah, definitely. And that's going to inspire the other guys in the team. You know, these other shooters, they're going to be feeding off that. And you can see the energy there that around Phil after he hit, you know, I think I saw Mark Dickel run up and give him a big chest. That's the sort of thing that the Tall Blacks really need to get them fired up. They were a little flat to start in that first quarter, and some outstanding shooting from the Chinese team as well.
What happened in that first quarter? Because they did come out cold.
Very cold. I think it's just one of those, you know, things. They went cold from outside. Most of their points were scored in the paint there with Ed Book and Rob Hickey picking up a few baskets, but they're right back in the game, and it's a game of swings and flows, and you know. It's gone up and it's gone down, and I think we're right back in there.
The beauty of it is the momentum you were talking about. It's right back now. The way Phil Jones was shooting, you're talking about Mark Dickel as well, the speed that Dickel's showing around the court, the momentum with the Tall Blacks now.
Yeah, excellent momentum, you know, and Mark really just leading from the front there. Things weren't really going, you know, the way they planned, and then he sort of took over. You saw him just take the ball and then do a few quick moves. I think he passed once out to Kirk Penny and got a, you know, three-point shot. That's just playing hard basketball, not necessarily the offense, but, you know, with a leader like Mark playing that point guard role, that's his job, to get those players involved. And if he has to do his little bit here and there, then, you know, so be it.
Well, he certainly has been doing it too. Disappointment to start with, but the momentum now with the Tall Blacks. They have 20 minutes now to knock off that 9-point deficit and drag themselves into the lead. But Phil Jones, 5 three-pointers to drag the New Zealand team back into this match. Stay with us. We'll look at the stats and some of the top plays in a moment.
Long night, and there's the replay of Phil Jones.
Phil Jones igniting the Tall Blacks at the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. China leading the way, though, at half-time, 52-43. The gap back to 9. It was 22 after the first quarter. China away to a brilliant start. Well, Chris Tupu, you and I have sat here most of the week. I don't think I've seen you as edgy as this.
No, not at all. The intensity showed, you know, by the Tall Blacks in that second quarter, the urgency, the way they got out there, and I think Dylan Boucher epitomises what we need to do in the second half. Hustle, that's what the Tall Blacks are known for, those hustle plays, and we end up getting a three-pointer out of it, or that kind of play. We're going to need all of that, you know, from every one of those players in the second half.
Given the height of the Chinese, the Tall Blacks did pretty well with that small line-up on the court.
Yeah, I think that creates its own match-up problems for China, and we saw there. We ended up getting a few good outside looks at the basket. You know, Pero being the biggest guy out there at one stage, marking that guy, you know, the big Battier guy in the paint there, they did extremely well. And we may see more of that sort of a match-up in the second half.
The Chinese message at half-time, I would imagine, would consist entirely of Phil Jones, wouldn't it?
They're definitely going to have to clamp down on him, and you'll see some tight marking, no doubt. I think we're going to be in for a physical second half. I think we saw a little bit of physical play in the first half, and as we get into this third and fourth quarter and the game really starts to get, you know, down on the line or whatever, we're going to see some physical play from both teams.
Well, there we see the first half stats, given the way Phil Jones has been going. Let's have a look at the three-pointers. New Zealand 7 from 16, just under 50% now. Yeah,
that's a lot better shooting. I think they started out 0 for 6, so they've run really hot in the second quarter, which is great. Rebounds, not too much difference there, slight advantage, 15 to 10. And turnovers, that's a good statistic for New Zealand. Turnovers, China have turned the ball over 10 times to New Zealand's 3, which is excellent.
Interesting you say the matches may get physical in the second half, because Jeff Green was commenting perhaps the Chinese don't actually fancy that.
Yeah, you know, they're sort of not known for, you know, their physical kind of play, China, but I think we saw there that they got a little ruffled, and there was a few times there, I think Paul Hanari ran into somebody at halfway there.
Phil Jones got an elbow in the face.
Jones took an elbow on the head, so they're not going to like that physical play, and I think New Zealanders will be better, better able to cope with it.
Let's go now to the plays, the best plays from the first half. Let's rejoin our commentators Bob Monti and Jeff Green.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, there's some very, very interesting things that have happened in the ball game. You're seeing some of it now. It's kind of a three-point shootout at the OK Corral. Both teams have been hot, hot, hot. China has shot 10 three-pointers. New Zealand has shot 7. Ed Book, another little hook shot there. Now, early in the game, those weren't dropping. We hope that the rest of the second half, they're all going to go in. There's probably 12 points went begging on little putbacks that just hung on the rim and didn't go in. We've got a fantastic game on our hands at 9 points. We were down by 24 at one stage in this game, and now we're down by 9. I'd just like to say a couple of things. A real curiosity. Yao Ming, the big player who had such an impact in the first period, never made an appearance in the second period, and I wonder, Jeff Green, if he might have a niggling wrist injury.
Well, it's now time for you to get it wrong, I think, Bob, because I got it wrong with Batia in the first quarter. Yao Ming played the whole of the first quarter, then Batia came out and played the whole of the second quarter. Perhaps I just feel that it might be the Chinese just trying to show the Kiwis a little bit of a different look rather than an injury, because both of them are out on the floor right now warming up, and neither of them look like they're injured. So I think it might be just the strategy of the Chinese.
Right, that might be. Now, another thing, I think you can almost count on this. China was unbelievably hot. They shot 66% from the floor. They shot 70% on three-pointers in the first half, and they shot 100% from the line, the free throw stripe, in the first half. No team, Jeff, in my memory, has ever continued that kind of shooting into the second half. Now, that's going to fall away a bit. The stats for the Kiwis are not extraordinary. Three-point shooting's good at 43%, but from the floor, they're shooting 41.5, and they could increase that by 6 or 7%. The interesting stat there is that the Kiwis have managed to get up 41 shots to only 28 from the Chinese. Now, that says the Chinese are playing very conservatively, and when they were shooting 9 of 13 from the three-point line, they were gathering their points in baskets, basically, basketfuls.
You're totally correct, Bob, and I believe it's because of the defense that the Kiwis are starting to put on. In that second quarter, we were the rough and tumble, so I liked that. I really did. And I think the shooting of the Chinese, you're totally correct. They're not going to come out as hot as that for a full 4 quarters of basketball. That would be unbelievable if anyone shot 70% from the three-point line as a team. So this is, and here we go. Yao Ming now out for the third quarter. So, you know, maybe the Chinese, that's their strategy.
2 other things to keep your eye on. A real danger for New Zealand is the fact that Pero Cameron is on 3 fouls. He got that about halfway through the second period. And he's not on the bench, which is a good move. And the second thing is, China only had 3 turnovers in the first period. They've got 10. In fact, now New Zealand only 3. So that shows you the intensity and the pressure that New Zealand has put on them. And as Jeff says, it just start the game, the third period, with a turnover. New Zealand has had a bad quarter every game, and I believe they had the bad one first up. And now we're going to look at 3 brilliant periods here and runaway winners, I hope, Jeff.
No, I don't think there's hope in it. I think it's pure skill on the Kiwis' part.
Hey, Kirk Penny, just as the buzzer goes off, the ball drops through the hoop, and Kirk Penny hits his second three-pointer.
It's down to 6, Bob, and that's the buzzer beater. And, of course, the Kiwis with Pero Cameron on 3 fouls. We started off with the 2 7-footers and Rob Hickey and Ed Book. So, you know, it will slow the game down a little, but it should give us a bit of a rebounding advantage.
3-second call on Yao Ming. That's 2 turnovers in a row, Jeff. And now the Kiwis, 52-46 down, have a chance to catch up even more. New Zealand currently on a 13-3 run.
Another 3 would nail this, and we are right in this ball game, Bob. We'll take a 2 even.
We will take a 2. We take a couple of free throws even, if provided the foul went against Yao Ming. Dickel gives it to Phil Jones. It doesn't go down, but look at the rebounding from Robert Hickey. Good on you, Bob. Sparky, three-pointer. I wanted to say it's there, but it wasn't. The foul is on Phil Jones. Now that's going to be Phil's third foul, I believe. No, that's its second.
No, that's his second, and Phil knew that. He didn't even look at the referee, just put his hand up straight away and acknowledged. But with the two big guys down low there, you know, we got 2 or 3 opportunities in the last couple of plays on the offensive board. That's what we need.
Well, that's right. It's good to see it. Offensive rebounding is not a strength against a team like China.
Oh!
Yao Ming came over the shoulder of Rob Hickey, and Rob's bumped again, but again, twice there was a lack of a foul called, and Dickel in the paint kicks it back out. Kirk Penny going the opposite direction, just couldn't get his hands on it. Turnover. Offensive rebounds in the first half. New Zealand led China 8-2, incredibly enough. But China shot so well, there were very few offensive rebounds up for grabs.
Rob Hickey just gave Yao Ming a welcome to the second half. He picks up the foul.
Hey, Rob is fired. He's as fired up as I've ever seen him, Jeff. The look on his face is worth the price of admission alone.
He's certainly not here for a holiday, the way he's out there playing.
Now look at him. Oh, it's great to see. And there he goes. Just sheer hustle and guts. A good Kiwi desire. Gets his hands on the ball.
Good stuff, Rob Hickey.
46-52, 7:50 left in the third period. New Zealand still clawing their way back into this game. Dickel throws up a 3. It doesn't go down. And Hickey trying to get over the back of Yao Ming.
I hate to say this, but Sparky's not the guy we want shooting the threes at this present point in time. And there's Phil Jones. That's his third.
Well, he's our hot hand. This is the card dealer we want in the game, and he's picked up his third foul. He'll come to the bench, and Dylan Boucher is going to replace him. Well, now 2 players in foul trouble. This could be a factor in the game, Jeff.
And that's because we didn't get back on defense. That's a big guy that Phil had to go down there and guard.
China really have been pushed out of their offensive pattern here, but Li Nan takes it down. Bloody Nose Lane puts up a nice little floating run, about 3-footer, and knocks down the 2 points. And it's an 8-point lead to China. 7:15 left in the third period. Kiwis have a big fight on their hands. Hickey off the glass, doesn't drop, gets his own rebound, nudges. Yao Ming out of the way, and it's
goaltending by Yao Ming. And a foul as well. Have they counted the basket? I think they have.
Well, no, in a moment.
No.
They haven't given it yet.
No, they haven't counted the basket. Just I thought they called goaltending, but they called a foul.
Yao Ming's hand got caught in the net. He didn't go up above the ring, but as soon as you hit the net or the ring, it's goaltending. Hickey controls a little bit of a shaky inbound pass. Kirk Penny trapped, double teamed in the corner, goes around Yao Ming, gives it to Hickey. It's there, the big guy's playing a blinder.
Well, did you see that? I hope we get that on replay. That is a small guard move that Rob Hickey did. He spread his legs. Here we go on the replay. Kirk Penny gets trapped in the corner by Yao Ming. He dishes off to Rob Hickey. Look at Rob Hickey.
Poetry in motion. Is he pumped? The big guys come to play. He's off the bench, and he's playing a blinder for New Zealand. The old 7-foot high club down in Christchurch. Be pretty happy about that.
Oh, they love it, and of course he said hello to his mum and dad in Cambridge last night's telecast. So now he's all pumped. Big Rob Hickey, good stuff, Rob.
The club's been in mothballs since Rob left a couple of years ago, but they're all just waiting for a reason to reassemble, and I bet they have now. Once again, Hickey gets his hands to that ball. Ed Book fires a 3. It doesn't go down, and China control a rebound. A very physical game now. It suits the Kiwis right down to the ground. 49-54. New Zealand within 5. They've come from a long way back. They were 24 down. Dylan Boucher, another turnover. That's 3 in this period alone.
Kirk Penny, good beauty. Kirk Penny, and that's off the Dylan Boucher steal. How many times have we seen Dylan Boucher steal the ball, get it to our shooters? It's a 2-point ball game.
China's rattled. You can see it in their demeanor. They're nervous. They're going to the big guy. He's got a look on his face that says, I don't want the ball. Now he gets it. Hickey's right there, tattooing his back.
Oh, that was a nice move by Yao Ming to answer the Kiwi onslaught there. But look, he's tired, Bob. Look at him at the free throw line. He's bent over.
He is tired, Jeff. Now, if Kiwis can keep running, keep hammering them. 16-4 run to New Zealand. Another three, doesn't drop.
Rob tried his hand at the three-point. He says, look, I'm hot everywhere else. Let's go to the three.
Well, he's got two role models out there in the form of Kirk Penny and Phil Jones. Jones is on the bench right now with 3 fouls, but Dylan Boucher has got to come up with another couple steals. Lee Nan straight to the hoop. He's going to be fouled by Hickey.
And that was a good foul by Rob. Like, you know, it gave up nothing, even though it's his 3rd foul. You know, Rob Hickey has got to be proud of the effort he's put in. He's going to get a ride to the bench. Pero Cameron comes in, but look, let's all give him a hand. That was a good job, Rob Hickey.
Brilliant play from the big guy. He goes to the bench, though, Jeff, on 3 fouls. Now we got 3 players. 2 of our big guys, Rob Hickey and Pero Cameron on 3, and our best so far, 3-point shooter, Phil Jones on 3. Big factor in the ball game right now. Lee Nan, the leading scorer for China. He's got 23 points. His previous...
This is probably his best game, I would say.
Oh, it is, without a doubt. His previous best game was 14, Jeff. So this guy is playing a blinder for China. Sparky Dickel back to Pero Cameron, who's in the ball game now. Ed Book. Dickel wants a pick set for himself. Comes around it. Wins the foot race to the hoop.
Oh, that's goaltending. That's goaltending. Yao Ming is going absolutely, I don't know how you say mental in Chinese, but he's doing it, Bob. He really objected to that call being called goaltending.
Spat the dummy, I think they say.
And we've got a timeout on the floor. The Chinese are not happy.
4:51 left in the ball game. New Zealand trailing by only 3. It's a 57-54 game. And the Chinese have called timeout. Jeff, it's great to see. We were down by 9 points, at halftime, and we've had it all over them. 11-5 in this quarter, outscoring them to be back within 3 points here.
Okay, and of course, Ted Walton is just reminding the team if the Chinese may go into a zone right now because their man-to-man has started to fall a little because, you know, we've got guys like Rob Hickey, who's not normally a high scorer, particularly at this level, coming out and doing the job. So Tab's just reminding the team, let's be careful that they throw a zone on. You know, we've got to run our zone offense. The other thing he did say early on in the timeout, remember, let's keep it physical. And that's what I thought we'd do, Bob, the whole game. Keeping it physical because the Chinese are clearly rattled.
That's our theme song for this afternoon. Let's get physical.
Yeah, I'd hate to see him dancing to that tune either.
All rhythm, no blues, Jeff. 57-54, 4:51 to play the conclusion of this timeout. China is now in the bonus situation from the free throw line. New Zealand's pasting them a bit, but it's doing the job. But a couple of key players, as we said, are collecting fouls. 3 players on 3 for China. Number 10. Lee Nan is the only one with 3. No, there's no player with 3 fouls. So China just not in foul trouble at all. Probably shows they don't like the physical confrontation too much.
Listen to Rob Hickey. I think we just caught it on the tape there. Rob Hickey is saying, look, they don't want it as bad as we do. And I'll tell you what, Rob Hickey wants it. He wants this win, Bob.
Want, that's spelled desire. There's a good shot of what's kept New Zealand in the game after that disastrous first quarter. A Kirk Penny 3 and a steal by Dylan Boucher. Those 2 things epitomize what New Zealand has done so well. Great shooting after a disastrous first period, and the intensity and the defensive hustle have gone up about 12 notches. Play resumes. We're 3 down. It's a 57-54 ball game. This is a must game if we want to go to the quarterfinals. Kiwis have left too much of themselves on basketball courts around the world to drop it now. Jeff Green.
Yeah, they're gonna come out real intense. And there you go. Oh, no offensive charge. One referee saying it's a 3. The other one saying it's an offensive charge.
They're going to give them the 3.
That was on Yao Ming.
Have they counted the 3? The scoreboard hasn't put it up. I thought the referee signaled it.
No.
Yes, he did. Now it's a 60-54 game, but an offensive foul. Well, we got a little bit out of that. Sparky had to put the ball on the floor. A little ballet move there. Whoa. Ed Book from the three-point line doesn't go down. Nobody under there rebounding. Whoa. We beat them on the offensive board in the first half. We've got to get somebody there if we're going to throw up those threes, especially from the big men, Jeff.
Yeah, certainly. And of course, what Ed's got to do is he's got to be conscious of that sort of play. You know, he can't just come down and just stand there and hope the basket goes in. He's got to go down the lane and follow his shot.
Ed Book has just picked up his second foul, so all our big men getting up into foul trouble. Here's one of the best free throw shooters in the game so far, Yao Ming.
He's got all of his free throws.
Four in a row, I believe, in the first half.
And that's
5 of 5.
And that's 6 of 6 now.
Well, he's doing what he needs to for the Chinese team.
He hasn't missed a shot according to the stats there, Bob.
He's on 17 points. 7 of them free throws.
Well, the Chinese defense is just as extended a little into a more of a full court man-to-man.
Suddenly they're back to an 8-point lead. New Zealand was within 2 points, and the car just stalled a little bit there. It's a long way back. It won't be easy. Yao Ming pulled it off the glass, and Dylan Boucher tried to protect it. Kick back out to Kirk Penny. Will have the three. Thank you very much.
But once again, it was the hustle on the offensive board. Ed Book got a fingertip to it. Dylan Boucher got a fingertip to it. And then we kicked it back out for the shooter. Good play.
Well, Mark Dickel making friends with Xiao Yen, the little point guard. They'll be best of mates by the end of this game, the amount of time they're spending that close together, Jeff.
They are doing a lot of waltzing up and down that basketball court. And of course, this is what we didn't want to see. Li Nan coming back into the game, the hot hand for China.
Dickel leaves the game. He's got 2 points, 1 foul, and he's replaced by Paul Henry. So rotating guards here, trying to keep the point guard fresh. Got to keep the defensive hustle and intensity going at
And the
full
Chinese
speed.
are just absolutely awesome from the free throw line. I don't think they've missed one yet, Bob.
Well, they were 100% in the first half. They've missed 1 in the second half, according to Stephen G., our statistician. It's fantastic shooting. They're making the opportunities they're given, and suddenly it's a 64-57 lead again to China. 7-point lead. New Zealand a 14-12 run will have outscored them in the third period. They were back to within 2, but they've fallen behind a little bit. Ed Book takes it straight to the hole, and once again it's
look at Yao Ming. He is just beside himself. But clearly the ball was on its downward flight, and you know, maybe he's got to leave those alone, because you know that may not have gone in by the look of it. It hit the front of the rim as well.
It would have been one of those that just sat on the front of the ring or bounced away. So that's compliments of Yao Ming. Very generous player at the moment. He's been called for goaltending about 3 or 4 times. Oh, nice little double pump move. And he's called for steps before he gets a shot up.
Oh, he's after the referee. He's run up to the... Oh.
He's not a happy man. Not a happy man. And he's got a technical foul. Oh, this is disastrous for the Chinese team. Yao Ming goes to 3 fouls, and he's upset. Look at him. A scowling countenance of the big mountain.
Well, look, we'll see it here. We'll see it here. Oh, clearly he walked with the ball. He had his left foot as his pivot foot. He picked it up and went with his right foot. Clearly.
Well, it's such a rare call.
It's rules that says travel.
I think the refs have been ordered to limit their call of steps to 3 per game, no more, Jeff. There's a lot of waltzing around the court, as you described it, off by offensive players with the ball. It should be, they should jump on it.
Big PC showing a bit of claret in his mouth after a Yao Ming elbow.
Here we go. Will Yao Ming kind of lose his cool, or has he regained a bit of composure? Well, the ball stolen away by number 6. Good move. Shou Ben gets it from Carol Cameron. Yao Ming backing in. He took steps again. There was no call that came.
Oh,
and Li Nan.
It's a 2-man game. It's the old 2-man game. Guard on the outside, a shooting guard inside to the big man. Big man doesn't have a move. Kick it out to the shooter.
He rattled the ring with that one, but it dropped through, and it's a 67-60 ball game. New Zealand really struggling now to try to make a little headway. Penny's shot doesn't go down. A couple of offensive rebounds trying to be collected by Boucher and Penny, but they couldn't get their hands on the ball. China has regained a little bit of control in the game, I think, Jeff. The tempo's got to change, shift slightly again. We've got to get China under pressure. From the corner, what a great shot. That's number 9. Wow. Chen Ka, beautiful fadeaway jumper. And he hasn't been a factor in the game at all, but he comes off the bench and...
Not at all. That was a huge shot for him.
Knocks it down. Li Nan now with 7 3-pointers. Ed Book with a 3-pointer goes over the hoop.
You know, we don't need threes
Boucher
from...
on the floor trying to make the steal.
We don't need threes from Ed, and I think Tab's had enough of that. He's called a timeout. That's not the offense we need. We don't need our big guy shooting too many threes like that.
Boucher had his hands up. He did everything he could to stop Chen Ka making that jumper, but he slotted it anyway, and it's a 1:34 time limit left in the third period. New Zealand haven't made any progress. They were back to within 2. Now they've slipped 9 behind. It's a 69-60 ball game.
Okay, and of course, Tab has just told the team that, you know, the defense right now is total nonsense, and we've got to put a blanket over that Chinese team, and that means we've got to get
every
physical.
one of you is capable of doing the job. Get in his ass, all right? Yep. The same thing. If they penetrate, we need to take charge. We need to be committed to sensible things, not getting out of the context. All right? Let's run open on the next possession. Go back to open for the rest of the quarter. Okay? Get a couple of touches before you let one go. All right? Get a couple of touches. Move the ball. Let's get a stop. Let's get a basket. All right? And let's get momentum going into the fourth. We need a rebound here. So look at what they're running. Switch where we have to switch.
Well, Jeff, this is the third period. I thought we were beyond disastrous third periods. It's not a disaster, but I thought we would have made up a little bit more ground. We came out second half. We jumped on them. We got to within 2 points. Compliments of some 3-point shooting. But we've now slipped back again. We're 9 points in arrears.
Yeah, and I think Tab clearly said it in the timeout. We've got to put a blanket on the Chinese defense. If someone goes down the lane, we've got to take a charge. You know, we've just got to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yao Ming with 26 points for China, leading scorer in the ball game. He's missed China's only free throw. Now he's got 28 points. Oh, no, sorry. It's Li Nan with 26, Yao Ming with 19. These two players are doing the job for China, and it's a 71-60 ball game. New Zealand want to stay within 10. Will only be 10 minutes left to play. Phil Jones tries to give it out to Ed Book. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's given over to the Chinese team. So with 57 seconds, China has possession and a chance to extend the lead. A little bit of a disaster here for New Zealand. They've come from so far down, and then they just hit a wall. China have played very well the last 3 or 4 minutes, and here's the reason why. They've gone into this guy. Now look at him shifting his pivot feet.
He walked again.
Come on, ref. It's so hard playing against somebody that size, and when they take steps and you don't call it, makes the job even harder. Boucher takes it outside inside to Hickey, and it's stolen by the little point guard, number 4, Xiao Yen. He's played a good game. He's hounded Sparky Dickel all over the court. He made a crucial steal there, and it gives possession to China just when New Zealand needed 2 points. There's 15 seconds on the shot clock. Goes into Yao Ming. Robert Hickey hammered him, but we got away there, Jeff, without a foul call. Paul Henry gives it up to Phil Jones. 3 points!
Phil Jones, that's what we needed.
Just what the doctor ordered, and that brings New Zealand back to within 8 points. We actually outscored them by 1. It's a 71 China, New Zealand 63 ball game. We've got 10 minutes left.
Well, Mum sends me a loaf from home every month, but my flatmates always try and get into it when I'm not around, so I hide it down here, because I know they'll have a look in here. I don't do much cooking.
You'd be surprised how many Kiwis try and bring a couple of loaves of that Vogels through here. We confiscate most of them. Quite good bread, really.
For one morning I'm sleeping right. She's burning my vocals.
You're lucky I cooked for you. It was a year ago. All right, Michael, let it go.
And I knew that it's you that I love tomorrow, what it might be. Yeah, it's you that I love, and it's true that I love it.
Well, it's really hard to get.
Living like me, yeah.
Your Olay UV moisturiser is now complete. Greater UV protection to block over 90% of the sun's damaging rays. Light Olay moisturisers to maintain a youthful radiance. And added vitamin E to keep skin supple and smooth. You'll love the skin you're in with new Olay Complete. We've changed, so you won't.
4.5 seconds left. My mistake. Forgive me, New Zealand. China inbounds a ball. It comes over halfway. There's 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Li Nan puts it up hard against the glass, and it bounces out. And this time for Rio, the third period finishes with New Zealand 8 points in arrears. It's a China 71, New Zealand 63 ball game.
And of course, Bob, you know, that's Li Nan, the way that he's playing, it's a wonder that shot didn't go down. But the Kiwis have clawed their way back. You know, we're back within 10 for the fourth quarter. We've got to make our run. We've got through our shocking third quarter that we've always encountered throughout this tournament in the big games. Now the fourth quarter is there. It's all ahead of the Kiwis. We're down 8. But we are playing some good basketball. I'd like to see the big guys not take so many three-pointers, get their butts down low on the offensive board, because every time they have gone to the offensive board, we've troubled the Chinese defense. And as long as we can do that, then we're going to get those opportunities. We've seen offensive rebounds, kick back out to our shooters, Kirk Penny, Phil Jones. They've been able to nail them. The other thing that I think we'd like to see right now is Pero Cameron start coming into the game. He hasn't done a lot right at this particular point in time, and if he does, look out, New Zealand. We're going to be on boil over mode here in Indianapolis.
Well, Jeff, an interesting progress score from the other game, Germany versus Russia. Now, that might have some bearing on who goes through. Germany leading 28 over Russia 16 in the first period. That's an interesting score there. Germany probably should win that game, but Russia's really played well in the last couple of games.
Yeah, of course, we need Germany, for all of the other permutations to go away, we really do need Germany to win that game. And as long as we win here, you know, we're through to the last 8.
New Zealand have outscored China since that disastrous first period, where we were down 35-13. We've outscored them 30-17 in the second period. We got them by 1 in the third period. So a little bit of progress there, 20 versus 19. But there's still a long way to go. 8 points and 10 minutes to do it. And the Chinese have typically tired in the fourth period. They've kind of been blown away by Argentina and Russia. New Zealand, too, have taken a couple of pastings. So it just comes down to who's going to step up, suck it up, and get stuck into this game, and who wants it most.
Well, if the Kiwi team are right in front of us, Bob, and they're not stepping away from the task. They understand what needs to happen. This is 10 minutes away from true sporting history for New Zealand as a nation, and they understand that. Tab understands that. They're not going to go away without a major fight here, Bob.
Jeff, another interesting thing, Menk Patir didn't play any time in the third period, and you would think that they would have both of these big guys on the floor at the same time, but Yao Ming is continuing here in the fourth period
with 3 fouls as well.
That's right. We haven't seen Patir since period number 2. Phil Jones leading the Kiwis with 24 points, Kirk Penny with 15, and Ed Book has 11. Now Ming Yao puts the ball down. He's going to be fouled. Dickel. The Kiwis are triple teaming him now, hoping he puts the ball on the floor. Chinese shooting has really fallen away, as I predicted it would. They're 25 of 40. Still very good stats, but coming down. Free throws just slightly under 100%, but the three-point shooting is going down a little bit as well. 11 of 18. Let's hope that downward trend continues in the last 10 minutes of the game, Jeff.
Of course, you saw that stat there as well, that the Kiwis shooting 27 three-pointers, but only making 11 at this stage. If we can up that ratio a little, Bob, we're going to be right in this ball game.
Well, we were a little bit cold in the third period. We had that terrible patch, as we normally do. Terrible in the sense that we got back to within 2 and then gave up a run. China got back to 9. The call on number 4. Sparky Dickel and his counterpart.
And they have been waltzing all day long, and they've just been going at a hammer and tong, pardon the pun.
Indeed they have. They certainly know each other very well. They've been nose to nose for about 30 minutes of this ball game. Pero Cameron has the ball high. Kiwis again patient in their offense, as they need to be. Hickey has to come high to relieve some pressure. A lot of time in the shot clock, 15. Pero Cameron puts up the 3. Doesn't go down. Cameron almost got a rebound, but it goes over to China. 73-63. China scored first, so it's a 10-point deficit. 9 minutes to go. Xiao Ben goes the length to the court and lays it up. What a beautiful little drag shot.
That was a pretty basket, a little up and under, little scoop shot. That was a great move.
Little fake from Pero Cameron, moves into Yao Ming to draw the foul. He actually took steps. There wasn't a call, and that's 4 on Yao Ming, who didn't like the move.
But the thing is that, and he's holding that wrist again, Yao Ming. But look at this big Pero Cameron. Boom. Into the chest, because that's all he comes up to, into the chest of Yao Ming. But the good thing is, Pero goes to the line for 3.
Now,
sorry, Bob.
Pero shot, he put up a shot. It was just an insurance shot to make sure he got the 3 free throws. Now, he was out beyond the 3-point line, so that's just good play from Pero Cameron. He makes 1. We need all 3, Jeff.
We certainly do, Bob, just to keep in touch. The Chinese have come out. They've come out pretty hot in this 4th quarter, and if we can just get these 3 here, we'll be back within 9.
We were 3 down at the start of this period. 10 minutes left in this ball game, and 1 minute and 5 seconds of that is gone as Pero Cameron makes all 3 free throws. That's clutch shooting from the free throw line. It's a 75-66 ball game.
Oh, there's a
trap from New Zealand.
They just threw a little half-court trap at the Chinese, and the Chinese didn't handle it extremely well.
Chen from the corner doesn't go down. Yao Ming gets his hands on the ball. It's on the floor, and Sparky Dickel pulls it off in the big hands of Pero Cameron. Wrap around the sandwich. Phil Jones, it's there!
He took it to the big fella. Good stuff, Phil Jones. He's showing that he not only can shoot 3-pointers, but he can take it to the hole on the 7'6" center, Yao Ming.
And if there was no foul on Yao Ming, it should have gone against Phil Jones. Instead, the referees just stood there and didn't make the call. Fortunately, it didn't go against New Zealand. We got the 2 points. Yao Ming pulls the rebound down. He goes up. They're going to give him the 2 points. And the foul is going to be on
Rob Hickey.
Hickey's 4th foul. There's an interesting shot there. Jones pushes Yao Ming away, leaving his left hand free, and makes it.
Yao Ming all over the back of Rob Hickey, but then Rob decides, well, I better tunnel him.
Hickey just slammed the truck in reverse and backed up to the free throw line. Yao Ming, what a free throw shooter, and he's going to be spelled. Here's Mank Batir, current Denver Nuggets star, coming on, replacing him. Now, last time Mank played was in the 2nd period, and that's the period we outscored the Chinese 30-17. 10-point deficit, 78-68. Kiwis still in with a chance here. Phil Jones, pass to Rob Hickey. 2-point jam.
Hickey gets the 2-point slammer jammer.
Jones was putting it in the air, hoping somebody was there to gobble it up, and Hickey was hungry.
There was little space between the floor and Rob Hickey's feet, but he got up there for the big jam.
Here's a big test for Hickey. Mank Batir backing in, kicks it back outside.
Li Nan.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. This guy is unbelievable. I hate watching him shoot.
It's going to be a name that New Zealanders are going to hate for a while. Li Nan from China. 7 3-pointers.
Dickel's got 2, and Hickey slams the lid on, making sure the ball doesn't come out. It's an 81-72 ball game. The pace is quickened. This favors New Zealand, Jeff.
We need a stop too, Bob. Even though the pace has quickened, and you're right, it will favor New Zealand, but we've just got to get a defensive stop here.
Tempo is picked
not
up.
A 3.
Mank Batir coming on the baseline, pushing Hickey out of the way. There's no call. What a physical match it's been. Cross-court pass. Here's Li Nan.
He missed one.
I don't believe it. It's popped in and out. In fact, the ball disappeared in the hole and then popped out again. Pero Cameron takes it baseline, puts it up, and he draws a foul from Mink Batir. And now that's 3 on the big man and puts Pero Cameron on the line to shoot 2 free throws. He's made his last 3. Good move from Pero right here.
Here it is. Pero gave him the ball fake on the reverse, came underneath, and Batir had nothing other than to foul him. And of course, the usual stuff, who me ref.
Hey, Pero will love this. He was ghosting along the baseline. 6:38 left in the ball game.
Mini-me goes to the line.
He's got one. 8-point deficit. They're back to where they were at the end of 3 periods of play. 6.5 minutes left in this crucial basketball game. New Zealand's hopes in this tournament riding on the last 6.5 minutes.
And we've gone back to our small lineup with the 2 big fellas on the bench. And this is that lineup that really gave the Chinese some trouble at some stage in that second quarter. And that's exactly why we've gone to that lineup. We've just hustled the Chinese into another turnover.
Shou Ben was just shepherded into an alley there. There was nobody to pass the ball to, so he threw it to the score bench. 3-point attempt. Pero Cameron doesn't go down. An attack goes to Dylan Boucher over Mink Batir. I can't believe it. 81-76. Here we go. Kiwis making a rush.
New Zealand, we're in a ball game. There's another steal.
Saves it. Comes back in. 3-point to 2-point attempt. He's got it.
The Chinese are unhappy. The coach called the timeout. Look, the whole bench is cleared for the Kiwis to get that 5. And this is that 5, the little 5 of Paul and Bob. The little guys have come on and done the job. An offensive rebound by Dylan Boucher over Mink Batir. Got us a 2-pointer, another steal off the Chinese full-court press, and then all of a sudden, it's back to 3.
I can't stand it. 81-73. We're back to within 3. New Zealand have scored 8 straight. They've stormed back, outscoring China in the 4th period. 15-8. They were back to within 3 in the 3rd period. It slipped away. We were down by 8 to start this period, and we got 11 behind, and we've come back yet again.
And look at the Chinese there in their timeout, the body language, Bob. You know, they don't look happy right now. We've bustled them, we've hustled them, we've done everything to them.
Well, now's the time to put them away, Jeff. A lot of time left in the game here, 6 minutes. Now we're in the game. We've got to maintain the intensity. We've got guys have got to step up and do the job.
And of course, Tab is saying we've got to gamble a bit more. You know, we've created those turnovers. I can hear them in the timeout. Just you know, the 2 guards at the top, gamble a little bit more, try and put more extra pressure on that Chinese offensive line, bringing the ball up, and you know we will get those steals.
Phil Jones with 28 points for New Zealand.
Let's put them under some heat. They're feeling it. Let's just get them under pressure. What we really want here is an 8-second call in the backcourt. Let's really match up.
Oh, that's great stuff, Tad Baldwin. He's saying, let's turn up the heat. Let's keep the heat. They don't like the heat. And that's exactly what we need. Let's see if we can go for an 8-second call. All-out, full-court press. Let's see what the Kiwis can do here, Bob. This is exciting stuff.
You can't stand the heat in the kitchen. Get off the court.
I'm just jumping around on myself. I can't. I want to stand up, but the rest of the commentators, Chinese commentators behind us might go a bit mental.
Here we go. 6 minutes, 5 seconds now. Tab was calling for an 8-second violation. He doesn't want the Chinese team to be able to get the ball over halfway. They've got 8 seconds to do it.
And they're going to press. They're going into a full court press. Let's see what we can do. The Chinese are still hesitant. And this is their point guard. This is their starter.
Shou Ben has the ball stolen by Sparky Dickel. Sparky spins, gives it over to Phil Jones, almost loses it, kicks it back outside. Boucher controls it, gives it to Pero. 3-point attempt, doesn't go down. Jones has it, kicks it back outside. That resets the clock at 24. Phil Jones, good move to the hoop, takes on Mink Batir. It wasn't Batir, it was number 6. That's Zhou Ben.
But look, the Chinese, this is their starting point guard, and he doesn't want the ball. He's looking to pass it.
81-80, double teamed, gets it to Batir. Now Batir finally saves the day for them, but now there's only 12 seconds on the shot clock, and they don't realize they're down to 7 seconds, and now they've got to set up something. It's going to be a desperation shot, Jeff. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Hey, it's as good as a steal, mate.
Oh, absolutely, Bob. Give me 5 for that one. And that's exactly what Tad Baldwin wanted. Tad Baldwin wanted. He wanted a good defensive play. The Kiwis, Bob, we can take the lead with 5 minutes to go this play.
10 straight points, a 10-0 run to the Kiwis. Finally, we're doing it to someone else. Pressure really showing. We're into the last 5 minutes of the ballgame. Boucher kicks it out to Pero Cameron. Over to Phil Jones. Jones floating around the three-point line. Off the glass, it doesn't go down, but Pero's got the ball up. It goes it in. We've got a lead, finally.
That's our first lead of the ball game with 4:40 to go in the game. We're up 1. Hold on to your seats, New Zealand.
82-81, Boucher gives it to Sparky Dickel, gives it to Phil Jones, and we've got another one. That's 14-0, a 14-0 run as New Zealand rips into a 3-point lead. It's 84-81. China still not calling timeout. I can't believe it.
It's boiling over, Bob. The heat is intense. The heat is intense. The Chinese guards don't know what to do right now.
Where's their composure now? Can they do it? New Zealand teammates standing up. We can't see over them. 3-point attempt doesn't get out. Sparky Dickel's got the rebound. Here we go. New Zealand outscoring them 21-10 in this quarter. Dickel's got it.
Sparky Dickel went to the hole. He threw contact, no foul. He scored the basket.
86-81.
Oh, Bob, you and I are both off our seats. It's absolute mayhem here. Magical stuff. Sparky Dickel on the layup. He gives New Zealand a 5-point ball game with 4 to go. Who would have believed it after that first quarter?
You would, Jeff. You predicted it. You said you were never worried. I don't believe it, but that's what you said.
Absolutely,
and it's on
Bob.
tape
I've
about 3 or 4 times.
I've had faith in Tab and Nenan and this New Zealand team all along. All we need to do now is show some composure with 4 minutes to go.
We've got to keep it going. There's 4 minutes. That's a long time in a ball game. We've got a 5-point lead. And as soon as we go to the New Zealand bench, we'll see if we can hear what Tad Baldwin is saying. He called it correctly last time. He said, don't let them get it over halfway. He wanted a 8-second violation. We made the steal and scored the points. The next time, China threw the ball away, and we scored another 2 points. And it's been all New Zealand since that last time out. China's heads are down again.
23-10, 16 straight points in the fourth quarter, and that's what's got New Zealand the 5-point lead. And of course, it all started with the hustle and the bustle of the defensive guys. Dylan Boucher, Sparky Dickel, they were right in the faces of the Chinese.
Down to the New Zealand bench.
We got to go middle, okay? And Carroll's in the back, and put that guy in the back, okay? Somebody's got to be responsible for the middle, because they're running a guy in here and running a guy out there. Okay? Now look, Carroll's got to take that deep. Even if he's weak side, this guy can shade over. Once the ball comes up here, all right, you've got to take him. You got to take him.
You know the other thing, Bob, it's the offensive rebounding. Once again, look, there's Pero Cameron, an offensive rebound in the putback. You know, normally we'd kick that back out for our shooters, but Pero knew. There's the defense. Look, Dylan Boucher, Sparky Dickel. That's the sort of thing that's got us all excited here. The layoff into Phil Jones. Phil Jones, 32 points for the ball game.
There it is, the flight of the bumblebee. Dickel, you beauty.
Oh. A Sparky Dickel. And look at the Kiwis. They're not backing back. They've still got the small lineup on the court, and we're going full court pressure again.
We've got them in the vice, and now we just put a couple of turns on it, Jeff. Here we go. Time starts. We're into the last 4 minutes of the game. Yao Ming back in the game. Now, that's probably a good substitution. Mink Batir wasn't helping the team.
Oh, that was a travel.
It's going to be a charge. Yes, it is. Who was it took that charge?
Pero Cameron, the captain. He stepped up. He says, I'm not going to let this guy get the basket. Look at this. He travelled first. He went to the hull. Pero Cameron. Oh, that was a mountain he ran into.
Ouch. Hey, Pero is such a smart player. He got the compliment from the American coach, George Carl, who said yesterday after the game, in response to a question, who do you like on the New Zealand team? He said, I like this kid, Cameron.
Yep, the Cameron kid. He called him the Cameron kid 3 or 4 times.
That's the 4th foul on China, so New Zealand's in a bonus situation now. Next time they get fouled. Phil Jones with the ball. 3:31 left in the ball game. He takes steps. Somehow.
They were only tiny little steps, Bob, compared to some of the Chinese steps that have been taken.
Well, I dispute it, but never mind. We can't dwell on that. It's an 86-81 lead. 5 points to New Zealand. 3:23, time ticking away. China look out of sorts offensively here. Li Nan with the ball.
Yao Ming is screaming for the ball.
Time on the shot clock is down to 5 seconds, and Pero is going to pick up a call. He's got the foul. That's 4 on Pero. He got tangled up with Yao Ming. What a physical contest it's been between their 2 big men and our battalion.
Yeah, and I like this matchup because I think Pero has the lower body strength to keep Yao Ming out.
That's 3 fouls, team fouls on New Zealand. That reset the shot clock. Yao Ming's going to back. No, he's got to dump it outside again. Li Nan pumps it outside. Xiao Ben takes it the length of the.
Got a steal.
Down bloody nose lane. The steal comes from Pero Cameron. What has he done? What hasn't he done this game? Phil Jones is fouled. He'll go to the line. Here's one of our best free throw shooters on the line now, and we're under 3 minutes to play, Jeff Green.
And I'll tell you what, that came from down low. Here's Phil on the drive. He had the inside out, twisted inside out, but it came from a steal. Pero Cameron stepped across when the guard went down. When Gal went down the lane, all of a sudden Pero stepped across. Phil got his hands in the cookie jar, managed to get the steal. We're back down the other end. Oh, Phil Jones, you're a beauty. 6 points, 87-81, Bob.
Jones put a little English on, a little body English on that shot. Just moved it slightly in the air to the right, and it dropped sweetly through the net. He misses a second one. Yao Ming goes high to get the rebound. It's an 87-81 lead. 2:51 left in the ball game. Defensive pressure coming out front from Sparky Dickel. Is this guy wired or what? Wow.
Oh, Li
Nan, one bounce, puts up the 3-pointer. Oh, the guy is fantastic. He's unconscious.
It was only a 2 though, Bob.
2:32 left in the game. Scoreboard playing up here. Now they've got it 87-83. That's right. Phil Jones with the ball. New Zealand being patient, but now there's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Jones from the corner tried to draw the foul. Yao Ming makes this has the ball stolen by Boucher. Unbelievable. Phil Jones roughed up, but there was no call. Now Kirk Penny's double teamed in the corner. He knocks it high to Dickel. Dickel controls things now.
And Ed Book yelling from the bench. Ed Book yelling from the bench. That was big. That was big. And we agree with you, Big Ed.
Sparky loses the ball. Takes it away. He's holding his jaw. He got smacked in the mush as he went past the Chinese player. 1:43. China will go inside to Yao Ming, who's had to come high. China far too lackadaisical here. Oh, nice little play inside. Li Nan again. What this guy hasn't done. 33 points from number 10. His previous high in the tournament was 14.
Can you believe it? We're still here. Oh, his body's all over the floor in the keyhole.
Pero with a 3. Drop it, baby. Drop it.
Oh, you Ed Book. What a lovely basket. He said that's big. Big Ed is talking to us. Absolutely, Ed. We agree with it. That's money play. Time picking.
Time started again. 1:12 and counting down. The Chinese are rattled. In it goes to Yao Ming. He's holding onto the ball. He passes it. Boucher knocks it out of bounds. Every time New Zealand knocks it out of bounds, it puts more pressure on the Chinese. 90, 85, 105 left on the time clock.
Oh, Bob.
11 seconds on the shot clock, Jeff.
I can't contain myself, Bob. We've got a steal.
Goes off China.
It was off the Kiwis.
Knocked out of bounds. New Zealand players are being told to stay on the bench. They're jumping up. They've got to sit down. I hope Tab is going to tell them they're right down in front of us. At times, it's hard to see over them.
8 seconds on the shot clock, Bob. This is a crucial possession for the Kiwis.
Lee Nan. One bounce, he goes around Penny, and the foul is called.
That's all right. We're not in the penalty yet. That's only our third team foul. Good foul, Kirk Penny.
That resets the shot clock, however. New Zealand won't get a possession. They were 3 seconds away from possession there when the foul was called. New Zealand, a 20-4 run here. Yao Ming, he puts it down. He's going to be fouled. Who's the foul on?
I think Pero Cameron. No. 10, Dylan Boucher. We'll take that one, Dylan.
That's Boucher's first foul.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
incredible.
take one.
That's incredible.
Anytime Dylan Boucher has one foul with 58 seconds in a ball game, you know he's played a great game.
Possible three-point play here. It's time for Yao Ming to miss one. He's only missed one of about 14 free throws. Oh, great shooting from him, and it's a 2-point lead to New Zealand. We're into the last 60 seconds of the ball game. Each team will have 2 possessions here, Jeff, about 2 possessions each. Cameron.
Don't go away and make a cup of tea, whatever you do, New Zealand.
Now bring that lazy boy forward too. Lean toward your set. We need your support. Kirk Penny. We got a foul, and it's going to be against China.
And it's a shooting foul, Bob. It's a shooting foul. The Chinese are in the bonus. So Kirk Penny will go to the line for 2. Kirk, he could really put not a whole bunch of nails, but one nail in the Chinese coffin right here with 2 free throws.
Well, he's got them essential to make at least one of them. 2 of them gives New Zealand a 4-point lead, and neither a 2 nor a 3 is going to catch them, and it gives possession back to New Zealand. So there's the first.
That's the first one.
Okay.
So there's the half a nail. He's just put it in. He's tapped it in. Now he's got to drive that nail in.
Kirk, we're right with you, mate. We're going to talk this ball into the hoop. Up it goes.
Nothing but.
Well, not quite, but it dropped. And New Zealand now with a 4-point lead, and it's 40 seconds and counting down. The Chinese bring it over halfway.
The Chinese will need
defense.
a 3 to be competitive here.
Lee Nan will want the ball. Number 8 comes high, flashes high, and throws up a 3. And Kirk Penny chases it. It goes over to China. Kirk's face shows the disappointment.
One possession, Bob. It's a 28.6 on the shot clock. 1 possession for New Zealand to play good D.
28.6 seconds. China have to score. If they don't, it's curtains. 22 seconds on the shot clock. As long as we keep Lee Nan from way downtown.
Wow, that's it.
Kirk Penny pulls it down. He's fouled immediately. That was good play by Lee Nan. He came up and whacked Kirk Penny.
It certainly was, Bob, because he's put Penny on the line. Now, Penny has to make at least 1. Then that goes to a 5-point ball game.
Unbelievable ball game. Lee Nan had to put it up. Well, he didn't really. They had more time and couldn't got a better shot.
Hot guy. He's the hot guy. But Kirk Penny, here's another opportunity to put the second nail in the coffin.
These 2 points would ice the game, Jeff, with 19.5 seconds left in it. There's one of them.
That's one. And the Kiwi boys are turning around. The motioning in the air. It's all about money. Here we go.
New Zealand was behind by 24 points in the first quarter, and they're now unbelievably ahead by 8. It's a 6 points. It's a 94-88 ball game. 15 seconds. Don't foul. Don't foul.
It's all over. We're into the top 8, Bob.
Lee Nan trying to get a shot up, almost loses possession. There's 6 seconds left in the ball game. The shot goes up. It's an air ball.
It's all
Kirk
over.
Penny's got it. And New Zealand are winners. Unbelievable game.
Absolutely, Bob Monty. New Zealand are into the top 8 of the World Championships in basketball. This is absolutely magical. The Kiwi team are out on the bench.
What a heart stopper.
The fans are going mental over in the corner. The Chinese are beside themselves. Someone's got to lose, but hey, I'd rather Chinese lose today. The Kiwis, you've done us proud. Tab Baldwin, Nenad Vucinic, Pero Cameron and the lads. Oh, I've got to sit down, Bob. I'm beside myself.
A 31-15 scoring margin to New Zealand. I don't think I've ever seen this in a game before. A 30-point turnaround. New Zealand were down by 24 points in the first period. They win by 6. You take 24, add it to 6, and you got a 30-point turnaround. That's unbelievable basketball.
And we'll try and get words with Phil Jones. We'll see if we can get Phil over here and have a chat with him.
Well, the Chinese have got to be bitterly disappointed. you have to question some of the coaching decisions. Why not play Batir and Yao Ming at the same time? I don't know, but it played into New Zealand's hands, and something, once again, Tab Baldwin has done to rev up this team has got to be put in a bottle and sold. This is good stuff, Tab.
Absolutely, and Tab Baldwin, you can take a bow. All New Zealand are right behind you and your Tall Black team. Absolutely magical. Bob, we did it without our NBA star, Mark, Sean Marks.
Okay, Jeff, that's going to be all from Conseco, but what a game it's been. Good on you, New Zealand. 94 over China, 88. We go into the quarterfinals.